Hey everyone, it's Mario from Triple M Works. Today I'm going to be working on Phonic Phones. It's an idea I saw from Dale Bronk from Bronk Built. I'll put his link in the description. It's to help young kids with the sounds they make. Basically, Dale had mentioned that these things are like $7-8 plus shipping, and really 10 feet of pipe will make 2 dozen of these things, and that's like $2.50 with tax, and the elbow's another few bucks. And you don't have to make it pretty like Dale did. I painted mine green. He did blue. I'm using different types of tape just because I felt like it. So while the initial cost was higher because I had to buy 2 rolls of duct tape, I already had the solvent. I'm in for a little money, very little money, and it's going to be helpful for kids. I'm going to make a bunch more. I only made 10. I'm giving 2 to my daughter. She will have the distinct ones with 2 different color tape on there. That way she'll know this one's hers in case some of the other classmates use them. And then I had 2 other types. One is space and the other one is rainbow. So I hope you enjoy this video, and if you like the video, give it a heads up, a thumbs up, and go visit Dale's site as well, because again, he's the one I got this idea from, and I'm appreciative about a couple of things he's done for me in the past. Thanks, and hope you enjoy the video. Anybody who knows me knows I like to talk about random things as I'm building. This is my Hitachi. Would I have liked a K-Pax for $1,600, or a Bosch Glide for $650, or a DWS DeWalt 780 for $650, depending where you go with the shadow laser? Sure. But this Hitachi was $460 at Lowe's, and it went on sale for $400, and I had a 10% off coupon, so I got it for like $360 or something like that. And 2 days later, it went on sale for $369, so I got it for $332. What's nice about this is that it's dual bevel, and it has 2 different slide motions. So depending on how you set this up, you can slide this forward and back, so it takes more room in the back. But you can also, if you tighten this back screw, release this forward screw, it works the other way. I guess it depends how much clearance you have behind it and what you want to do, but right now I'm going to leave it like that. The stand is a DeWalt 726 model. I think it's piston assist, but this saw is so heavy that it's a hard time. It's got 2 levels, really short, which I won't show you now, that's for another time, and up this high. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a built-in stop block, which I think is kind of silly. DeWalt did that, and it's not an option. I've called, and one person says, sure, use this, and no, you can't. So this is the way this is. It was a pain in the butt to put together, too, considering. So that's my tool talk for today. Now, the PVC is going to cut down in 4.5-inch sections. I have a stop block here at 4.5, and this Irwin grip, which I got on clearance at Lowe's. It was either $3 or $5. Bought a few of them. So now I am going to start cutting the PVC. In addition to this, I'm going to be using this $10 million stick. I originally saw Izzy Swan using this, and can't say enough about safety. Is it worth it? I think I paid $10 for it. If it keeps my fingers out of the way, I guess it's worth it. $10 million stick, because they say each one of your fingers is worth $1 million. So I set up the outfeed so I can rest it right on, and we'll hope that all goes smoothly. Again, I'm cutting 10 of these, so go forward and start cutting those. Now, a couple of things I'm going to mention, bad practice that I did. Well, since I had the stop block here when I was cutting, first of all, you should always wait for the blade to come to a complete 100% stop, and I didn't do that a couple of times because you don't use the tool often. sometimes, stupidly, you forget safety precautions. With the stop block here, when the blade didn't finish completely spinning, when I lifted it, the teeth on the blade, the solder is unplugged by the way, teeth on the blade, when I lifted it, would hit the PVC and it would bind because the stop block was keeping it from pushing the other way. If there was no stop block and I was just measuring as I went, it wouldn't have been much of an issue. But it caught a couple of times and the piece just tumbled away. Not a big deal, but it could have been a big deal. That's why you gotta sometimes sit back and just rethink everything. And during these videos I tend to babble on about stuff, but I figured that was a good thing to mention. Safety first. Don't do anything stupid and think it through. And last thing I want to do is get injured and show someone a poorly written video. So I know my mistakes. If you see some other mistakes I made while doing this, please point them out in the video. I'm here to learn as well. These are just ideas that I see on YouTube and things that can help me or my daughter or the family or whatever. So that being the case, the saw's getting put away now because that's all I need that for, and I'll be going to the next step. It's a red lever here. It's 2 height positions. Basically, lifting, they say you put 1 foot on it, I put both, but when I'm lifting it, is you lift it up a little bit, you release this lever, you gotta pull it up, and go down. Here's one stop. The saw weighs so much though, so you really gotta pull it up, lever, go all the way down, and the weight of the saw keeps it retracted. And believe me, the saw is heavy. It was at least 68 pounds that I remember. It was heavier than the DeWalt and maybe even heavier than the Bosch. Anyway, just want to show you that about this DW726, I think it is. So my original plan was to work on this yesterday. I got started cutting the 4.5 inch lengths of 3/4 PVC, and I had to take off. So pick up where I left off. I don't know if these need to be sanded or not. I know some brands are not as smooth, not as well groomed as others, and these do have some edges on them. And since they're going to be handled by kids, I think I'll take the extra effort to take those off. So let's get started. The Orbital sander I'm using is a Black & Decker. I picked it up because it was cheap. It was like 25 bucks on sale during the holidays, Christmas. And you know, they say let the tool do the work. But what I found with this was this really had no strength to turn itself. It just wasn't doing a good job, so it wasn't 25 bucks well spent. So I will be I bought a clearance DeWalt one, which looked quite a bit better. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. The model number of this one right here was BDER0100. So we'll get started. I'm not going to show you sanding all of them, but I am going to sand them 1 or 2 on the screen. As I film this, I am reminded to triple check my camera because yesterday I filmed 3 videos and I just purchased a shotgun mic, and wouldn't you know it, I forgot to power up 2 of those videos. So I'm either going to have to reshoot it or do a voiceover, and I don't know how well I'd do with a voiceover, but I had bought a blue microphones, Blue Yeti, to try some stuff, and maybe I'll do a voiceover with that. I'm going to clean this with some isopropyl. This is only 70%. Usually, I don't know how I ended up with this. Stole it from the wife's supply. Hopefully I don't use it up. I don't hear it about that. But I figured this will help clean up any of the oils or whatever might be on it, debris. So I'm going to go through these and wipe them up. Now I went to pick up some Krylon Fusion, which is really good for plastic, but for some reason my Home Depot and Lowe's do not carry that. I don't know why. I had to go and get Rust-Oleum for plastic, which is still a good paint. The problem with that was it didn't have the color I wanted. I want to steal, get some blue stuff to steal Dale Bronk's idea from Bronk Built. This is where actually I originally got the idea. I have a 6-year-old, and she herself was having trouble sounding some things out. And I've watched a bunch of Dale's videos, and it looked like a really good idea. And I know how hard teachers work. My sister's a teacher, many of her friends are, and they pay a lot of money, a lot out of pocket for supplies and stuff. And some people don't realize that, or they don't think they do, but they do. And so I'm going to build 10 of these right now and let my daughter keep 2. Makes a cute toy too. And and give the rest to her teachers, her kindergarten, last year kindergarten, and this year first, to help any of the kids who had problems. And Dale had mentioned, well, I'll put his link in the description below. These go for like $7 online plus shipping. It's ridiculous. And I think for 5 feet of pipe, I paid 10 feet of pipe was $2 and I don't know, 18 or 38 cents. But if you only run 5 feet, it was like $1.88. So I was lazy and didn't feel like putting on the tailgate of my truck, so I just had him cut it in half in the store and took it. These elbows, for some reason the receipt wasn't in the bag, but these were pretty cheap too. The most expensive part, I think, was the paint, and I bought the cheap paint. It was like $4 and some change with that. And I also bought duct tape. Now I have Amazon Prime, and the advantage is free shipping. Well, they have some things that are inexpensive that are called add-on items. And with these add-on items, you have to buy something else with it to get the free shipping. But you still have to buy $25 worth of stuff, even though it's Prime, which is ridiculous. The whole idea of Prime is not to have to do that. So I bought the same, well, it looked the same as Dale did, sort of like rainbow, and this outer space one. Now Dale made them all the same because his wife said, I believe it was his wife, said, what are you trying to do to me? They all have to be the same, otherwise the kids are going to be a frenzy. Well, cause a little disturbance with all those kids, right? So I'm going to paint these. He picked blue, I'm picking green. Why? Because I felt like it. My eyes are green. So I'm going to get started with the spray painting, move the camera a little bit out of the way, so in case the wind blows. So I'm using Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch 2 times. It's paint and primer. It's gloss meadow green. I just bought what they had in green. The better paint I like because it has like a little spray gun nozzle and less fatigue, but they didn't have much of a choice. So here we go. I'm a terrible painter too, so I like the green so far. Light coats, they say, but I'm never a light coat person. I always find I oversaturate, which isn't good. Well, there we go. There's the first one of the day. Well, one of many. Anyway, let's get over here to the side. I'm going to do 2 coats. So I'm going to do 2 coats facing this way, and then 2 coats facing the other way, because I want to get the ends as well. made these for two for my daughter. I used 2 different pieces of tape, because when you tell your kid not to do something, they do it anyway. So this way, if they bring it to school and it gets confused, they'll know that these 2 are hers, because they have, you know, 2 different style duct tape on each one. There'll be no confusion. Really doesn't matter. It's just that, you know, how kids are. Mine. So this is how I did hers. Wish I had actually thrown some wax paper or some paper bag or something over my plywood work surface, because sometimes I do finishes on this, and I don't know if the paint's going to come up over time on what I'm working on. But I guess we'll see what happens. So things are painted right now. I have to work inside now because it's dark, lots of bugs out. I'm using this light I got from B&H Photo, SEMA. They ran out of the one they were supposed to send me, so they offered me this one at the same price, so I got it for like 15 bucks. And you can see the reflection there. But that's what I'm using right now. I just figured I'd show you that. 64 LEDs. Normally I think it's like 25 or 30 bucks. 2 types of cement I could use. I can use this Lovoc gray, and I'll tell you something right now. It's they call it Lovoc, but it stinks. I would use it because I really don't need to use the primer, but it's gray, and if I spill something, although you probably won't be able to tell, I'm not going to use this. The other type I have is the clear cement. Let me get this back in focus here. Come on, I know you can do it. So I'm going to use this. I'm not going to use the primer. The primer, my understanding is, not only cleans but etches the plastic, so it's a better glue point. But this just needs to hold it together. It's not going to hold water. As long as one spot is glued down, it should be fine. So I'm just going to use this. Now, I always tighten this down with a pair of pliers. One time, I don't know if it was me or the guy I know who was using it, didn't tighten it. I was going to seal a joint, open this up, and it was just one big hard blob in there. And I had to run out and buy some more. So let's get this back into focus. I'm going to open this up. I just loosened it earlier. And I'm going to start applying some of these. Now, I did go ahead, I didn't show, I kind of scuffed the inside surface of these because they did get some paint in there. And I did a fit check and it seems okay. So let's start putting this together here. So I'm going to put some glue on each pipe all around. I can't tell what is or what is or is not in focus of the camera. Put the first one on. That's on. Wipe off the extra. As you can see, the paint's coming off. It's not 100% dry, so that's part of the reason. One thing you need to make sure of when you put this together and you put the elbows on is that they're facing the same direction. If you don't, you're going to be in for a big surprise. Normally when you use this product, you're supposed to put it on and then twist it like 90 degrees. But I'm just going to push it on, as you can see right there. That's number one. This one has the different 2 different pieces of duct tape on it, and that's fine. So this one I'm going to give to my daughter, so I'll know it's hers. So if she decides to bring it to school, you know, to have fun or whatever, or learn for that matter, if she likes to learn, this is the one she'll be using. So I'm just going to be going through all of those right now. This might be a little bit out of focus, so let's try this again here. Here we go. First casualty, solvent on the hand. Should probably wear some gloves. Normally I'd use the applicator, but I'm taking a cue out of Dale's book and just using a stick. Don't know if it'll matter much, but I think I could control it a little bit better, the application wise. And since this is clear solvent, you won't see it. It might even help keep the tape on if a kid decides to start prying it off. One thing I did forget to do, crack the garage door open. You might hear some background sounds. Some of the Halloween decorations they have fired up. Might have to return one of them, one of the blow-ups. It doesn't seem to have enough power to blow itself up. So I'll have to see if they have any more, because they're starting to get rid of it. Twist. I think I keep forgetting to do that. And done. 10 phone phonics, or Phonic Phones. This one is going to be one of the ones for the school, because it's got the same tape on it. And I made these mixed ones for my daughter, so if she decides to bring it to school, she will know which one's hers. So she can use it, and there'll be no question about it. So I've got 8 in total. I have plenty of pipe to make another dozen, I think. Well, I have 2 leftover pipes without fitting, so 12, a 10-foot length could make 2 dozen of these, maybe a little bit more, depending. But it's a good project, and I'd like to say thanks to Dale, because it was his video that made me think about this. With the young kids to try to figure out the sounds. You could talk in one end like a telephone, and you hear your voice. So that's going to be kind of helpful, and I am going to donate these to the school, and if they like them enough, I think it's worth it to make some more and give it to them. They're not that much. A 10-foot of pipe, like I said, is $2.28 or 38 cents or something like that. And the bag of 10 fittings, the receipt wasn't in the bag, but it was only a few bucks a bag. The most expensive part was the duct tape. I got it from Amazon. This one was probably, if you want to focus here, it was like $4, and the space one was like $2.38. I will put the parts in the description. Before I get high here from the smell, I'm going to close this up. This is my Cobalt wrench. I'm not advertising. I just got it on a deal for $1 or $2, I think, so I took it. And we go. So I appreciate you following along. The video is going to be a lot longer than intended, simply because I like to talk about different things, or talk too much, however you want to look at it, about things I like to do and the tools that I'm using. Please visit Bronc Built. I'll put the link in the description. He has the same video. He's where I got the idea from. Like his page, like his video. He's, from what I can see, an everyday guy like you and me, who likes to do things on the weekend, likes to build. So, I want to extend the courtesy to him that he helped us make this happen. So thank you for watching. Please leave your comments, like the video if it was helpful, like Dale's video if you like it, and constructive criticism is always welcome of anything I used today, whether it's the solvent, the saw, which I mentioned a couple of don'ts I did that I shouldn't have done. Thanks everyone, and have a good one.